Lauren Boebert faces brunt of attacks in CD4 Republican primary debate. All 6 Republican candidates aligned themselves with former President Donald Trump, but disagreed on what and who is best for Colorado. Candidates clashed at 9 NE's fiery Republican primary debate for Colorado's 4th congressional district. The biggest name on stage was U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert, who represents the state's 3rd congressional district, but is moving to run in the 4th district. Alongside her were Logan County Commissioner Jerry Sonnenberg, current state rep Richard Holtorf, former State House Minority Leader Mike Lynch, 3-time congressional candidate and mortgage broker Peter Yu, and conservative activist and former talk radio host Deborah Flora. Within the first few minutes, all 6 candidates established their allegiance to former President Donald Trump. Every candidate raised their hand when asked if they would still vote for Trump after he was found guilty of 34 felony charges Thursday afternoon. Only Boebert said she would still vote to overturn the 2020 election results, knowing what she knows now. The rest of the 5 candidates said they would not. Despite their early agreement, the candidates split off when it came to what's best for Colorado. Immigration is a big-ticket issue in the upcoming 2024 election. Colorado's seen its fair share of struggles, with the city of Denver cutting department budgets to find a way to take in an influx of migrants from the southern border as a sanctuary city. Many of the candidates have identified immigration and border security as their main focus in this race. Opinions on solutions, however, are mixed. Boebert and Sonnenberg agreed mass deportation is the best solution. "I would use the police," Sonnenberg said. "I would use the National Guard." Lynch has called mass deportation an extreme solution. "If we start rounding people up and sending them across the border, we run the risk of seriously impacting our ag community in the state," Lynch said. "We need to legislate. That's what we're asking for here." In a show of hands, everyone but you said they would vote to impeach President Biden over his handling of the southern border. The use of earmarks in Congress, where members request funding for specific pet projects in their district, has been a contested issue between some Republicans. When Boebert was elected to Congress, she called earmarks wasteful, said they foster corruption, and were a way to buy votes before she started using them too. When asked if they would use earmarks to set aside money for Colorado, only 3 candidates definitively said yes: Lynch, Holtorf, and Sonnenberg. You said no. Flora said it depends. While Boebert has been vocally against using earmarks in the past, she has historically taken credit for projects in Colorado that she's voted against in Congress. They're things like a bridge over the Roaring Fork River in Glenwood Spring and a water treatment plant in Gunnison. Even if she were the deciding vote, Boebert said would have still voted no to kill those projects in Colorado, saying she would have worked out a process to get those projects over the line. Despite being the biggest name running for Congressional District 4, several of Lauren Boebert's fellow candidates lacked confidence she could win the seat. In a show of hands, Lynch, Flora, Yu and Holtorf agreed that if primary voters nominate Lauren Boebert, she could realistically lose this race in November. "I think it's time we have someone in this seat, which is one of the reasons I'm running, where we can rebuild the party," Flora said. "We can make it the big tent again, we can invite people to join us, and we can persuade our neighbors that we don't see them as the enemy." The voter makeup for CD4 is 47% unaffiliated, 35% Republican, and 17% Democrat. The Republican candidate is most likely to win this race. Boebert won her CD3 seat in 2020 by a thin margin against her Democratic opponent, Adam Frisch. In Thursday's debate, she blamed no-show Republicans on Election Day for the close margin. "When 50,000 Republican voters do not show up and think that their vote does not matter, that does make an impact on elections," Boebert said. Flora disagreed. "I do think it is vulnerable," Flora said. "I think the day of that will never happen in Colorado is long gone."